Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Laymen Daily Show. Got a bit of news today. I've got a whole segment just showing you a few things that people are building in Tears of the Kingdom. Very important. You need to know that, of course, because it's news. We've got some news, reviews, and discussions. We've got the quiz game at the end. I've got a new quiz game today, okay? It's music-based, all right? We've got the AI game today. We've got some other things too. I can't remember at this minute, but we've got a few things, okay? So it's going to be a really big show. Who's excited? I'm certainly excited. I hope the chat is well. I hope everyone is well, wherever you are in the world. Let's get to it, and let's talk about CD Projekt Red, Sony, and other stuff. All right. I forgot that you can hear me cough, actually, when I'm doing the drop. Thought I'd just throw that in today. A little bit of a cough in the drop. It's a remix. Okay, it's very important to do a remix ever so often. Cooper, right on time. Cooper, hey, Sam. Good to see you here, Cooper. I appreciate you, man. Uriel, what's up, everybody? Not much, my friend. You know what is up? Some rumors today. We've got a lot of rumors coming through. Now, I saw this yesterday. I wasn't really going to cover this, but then I saw a lot of people starting to talk about this. About the potential acquisition from Sony purchasing CD Projekt Red. First, I saw this one. First rumor, Sony is about to acquire CD Projekt Red. This could make the next Witcher game PlayStation exclusive. That's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting. Rhino also tweeted this rumor. PlayStation is looking to acquire CD Projekt Red, the studio behind industry mega hits like The Witcher and Cyberpunk 2077. Will we call Cyberpunk 2077 a major hit? Yeah, we would, right? I mean, look, it had its issues. But it got there in the end. But look, now some outlets are also covering this too. So rumor, Sony planning to acquire major third-party studio. Now, it's important to remember that Sony's budget is roughly $5 billion, if I'm not mistaken, that they can actually use. It's actually at the top of this headline. Sony has about $5 billion that they can use, and that's a little over half of the current market value of CD Projekt Red. So I don't know if they have enough cash to purchase it, but that's their current purchasing power that has been delegated to purchasing new or acquiring new studios. And this isn't the first time that we've seen this. We actually first saw this in March of this year. Well, it actually says here, it's worth mentioning that this is not the first time this rumor has surfaced. The last time CD Projekt Red and Sony were mentioned together was at the beginning of March. In that instance, the rumor was that the acquisition had already happened. This was due to a screenshot of Sony's page on a marketing data platform called PitchBook. Right, so this is something that we saw also in March earlier this year, that they had purchased them in October 26, 2022. But the rumors have surfaced again that this is potentially happening. This is on the cards. I think that's interesting, right? Because I think CD Projekt Red, I remember talking about this, I think on the Friday or the Saturday show a couple of days ago with you guys. Someone asked a question about that. Sony purchasing CD Projekt Red, I felt like they also mentioned something like Capcom. Which one would be the better one? Hard to know, right? I mean, CD Projekt Red's brand, their overall IP is extremely strong. To see The Witcher become exclusive or Cyberpunk 2078 come exclusive, all those things are potentially a possibility if this was to happen. And, we've definitely seen in the last 5 years or so a huge push on acquisitions, more than we had previously seen for PlayStation and especially Xbox. I mean, Xbox just went like a stampede, just trying to buy as much as they could. We saw them purchase Bethesda, of course, Xbox, and PlayStation, of course, has purchased their own companies throughout the years. So it's definitely something that we've seen, and we're going to continue to see. And as we move away from the whole, as I've said before, the whole console war and more onto an IP war, it's going to make sense to actually do. Someone's texting me. God, I'm trying to deliver the news. We're definitely going to see more and more acquisitions, or more and more big companies like Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox try and actually get as much IP on their books as possible. Would I like to see this? This is another question. Would I like to see this? CD Projekt Red definitely has a certain vibe about it, a branding attached to the fact that it's separate from the consoles. It's, especially with The Witcher 3 and the hype with Cyberpunk 2077, people definitely associate CD Projekt Red with the highest of quality, especially when Cyberpunk 2077 came out. We may look at that as just a glitch in the matrix, and the next titles that we do see from CD Projekt Red are back to that standard that people know and love. But all in all, the quality from CD Projekt Red, for the most part, has been extremely high. And that kind of reverence in the industry is something that is reviewed. You know, from consoles especially, but also consumers and gamers, right? So it makes sense if a console can purchase them for the right price. It's probably a smart move for the company, right? It's not to say that us consumers, we would love to see that, because if you're on Xbox, for instance, you may not get to play The Witcher 4 on Xbox, right? All 7 people, which is a shame, because some people, of course, love the idea that CD Projekt Red is a third-party, a AAA developer that does very high-quality things most of the time. And to see them maybe being gobbled up by PlayStation, that will be certainly interesting to see. But look, I'm optimistic to see any company get folded into a console if the quality is good, if it continues to deliver quality, and the cash that's injected into that company allows them then to make bigger and better games, you know, allow them to fully realize a vision, a creative vision, all those types of things, right? It doesn't always work that way. Doesn't always work that way. When Activision acquired Bungie, it all sounded great. They had the cash, they had the vision, they went forth with that. They made Destiny 2, and then contractually they were obligated to make Bungie to make Destiny 3. That, of course, is not really what Bungie wanted to do at that time, and all that kind of stuff. And Bobby Kotick was frustrated with the fact that Bungie wasn't delivering fully on their promises in terms of making a multi-franchise AAA product. All those things can happen, right? So just because you're folded into a major company, it doesn't mean that it's just going to be smooth sailing for the IP because they've got buckets of cash, or they've got a big company that's connected to them, you know, all that kind of stuff. But we'll have to see. And the thing is, right, if Cyberpunk 2078 comes out and they are owned by Sony, CD Projekt Red can just be like, guys, it was all Sony. What? We didn't, you know, we had a different vision, let me tell you. So if CD Projekt Red was purchased by Xbox, everyone would be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Redfall, like, yeah, okay, yeah, we've seen it before. Yeah, fair enough. That all makes sense. Mercy, but we'll see what happens here. Excited to see what this is. Excited for upcoming news and thumbnail news. That's what we love. That's what we love. You know what else we love? Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. That was one of the greatest games that I played. I think it was 2003? Something like that. 2003, 2004. Finished that a couple of times. Definitely. And we've got a little bit of an update in terms of how it's going for the development. Now, we do know that this was actually announced in 2021 at the PlayStation Showcase like 2 years ago, right? So we haven't really heard much, but we did hear that there was definitely some obstacles in the development. There were some issues there when they were trying to figure out what they were going to do there. There was also a big rumor that the project had moved from Aspire to Saber Interactive, with Aspire possibly doing some support work on the project still. But today, or yesterday, thankfully, as it says, Embracer, the company that owns both Aspire and Saber, confirmed that the game is still in active development in a recent report to its investors. Of course, this could mean it's being worked on by a small group of people and isn't really making tons of progress, but hopefully that's not the case. Now, as you can see here in their earnings report, or their report to investors, they continued to list Knights of the Old Republic Remake there. So it's there, apparently being worked on by a team of 1. Who knows how many people are working on this, but like remakes, here's the thing with remakes, right? I mean, I kind of think that a remake must be easier creatively. I mean, I'm not a developer, I don't know the ins and outs here, right? I'm just talking from a pure casual gamer. But I would think that a remake, although, I mean, again, there is a lot of creative freedom in a remake compared to a remaster, because of course you're looking to potentially change the fighting mechanics, or you're changing the combat mechanics. You're trying to change the way that the game feels like it's 2023 standards. Quality of life things change. There's all sorts of things that you need to change to make it feel like it's at the standard of 2023. It's not just graphics. It's kind of sometimes reimagining the very mechanics within the game. We saw that with Final Fantasy VII, and that, I think, was a success, you know? So in that regard, sometimes there is a lot of creative freedom. But what I'm saying is it does feel like a remake has the good bones as the fundamentals. The foundation is it's already a good game. So it's always a little bit like interesting to see when a game that's doing a remake, which already has the story, has the foundation, has the fundamentals, the foundation is it's already a good game. So it's always a little bit like interesting to see when a game that's doing a remake, which already has the story, has the fundamentals, the foundation is it's already a good game. So it's always a little bit like interesting to see when a game that's doing a remake, which already has the story, has the creative vision, has the good bones, has the ideas already behind it. You just need to execute on most of those ideas again. It's interesting when they find themselves in development hell, or in at least in development difficulties. Very excited for this. This is something that I would absolutely play. Knights of the Old Republic. Was that on Xbox Original? Yeah, Xbox Original. I think that's where I played it, on the original Xbox. Yeah. You know, so I definitely want to see what this is like, if we ever see this. But for them not to show anything at the PlayStation Showcase last week, that is interesting. Because it is now 2 years since we've seen even the announcement trailer. So for us to not even see anything, I'd be very surprised if we see anything on this game in terms of trailers or an announcement of the release date for at least 2 years. B. Vargas says, it should be easier, but I think the problem is when the suits want to modernize it for a modern audience, but provide they stay true to source, they tend to be good. I'd be very surprised if the suits are very intimately included in the creative process. I'd be very surprised. Some guy in a suit saying, oh, I don't like that. It doesn't look good. What's that thing he's holding? It's a lightsaber, sir. Oh, okay. Looks a bit weird. Put a gun in his hand. I mean, I don't think that's happening. You know, but who knows, right? There's definitely, of course, some bigger forces at hand than just the development team. There's going to be QA testers and higher execs coming in to play the game and see how it's going. And obviously there's some development hell or something, right? There's just another, yep, so we've already spoken about that. In other news, Dolphin emulator, the one that you can play GameCube. I think it's also, yeah, Wii emulator and also something else. What else? A Dreamcast, right? Dreamcast, you can play a few things on the Dolphin emulator. Has been removed from Steam after a DMCA takedown from Nintendo. Now, I remember seeing this about a month or two ago, that Dolphin was coming to Steam. And I thought, that's interesting. Dolphin is an emulator, and you play pirated games or emulated games. And for Steam to fold it into its offering, I thought that was a huge statement. So I'm not surprised to see this, that Nintendo has done a DMCA takedown on this, right? Nintendo especially are very protective of their IP, especially their old IP. They want to make sure that if anyone wants to play it again, it's Nintendo's choice to bring it out on the Switch. They want to know that people ultimately don't have the choice to play the game unless you own an OG GameCube or something. Here's the thing, right? Most people do own a copy somewhere of the game, so Nintendo has already made their money. If people want to play Simpsons Hit and Run off from the GameCube version, they've probably already played it 20 years ago. Like, who cares? You know? Not to say that I'm okay with, like, pirating games and shit. I would never do that. What I am saying is, if people have already purchased that game and Nintendo's already made their money on that, and people are playing the same quality game, it's not a remake, it's not a remaster, it's just the original game in its original packaging, graphically speaking, and kind of the quality of that game back from 2004 or 2005. I don't see why it is such an issue, especially when it is probably a pretty small audience that do it. I mean, how many people are actually going to go to the trouble to download the Dolphin emulator and figure out how to make it all work? It's a pretty niche thing, right? The average gamer doesn't really do that. They're just going to wait, hopefully, for a remake or a remaster or something. Anyway, Nintendo, man. They don't want you to do it, though. They don't want you to do it. I was definitely going to download this and check it out. Like I was. Like, I know it was going to be released on Steam sometime, but now it's being released not being released indefinitely. There is no date now on this. You know? Which is a real shame because it's fun to play Wind Waker. Where the hell is Wind Waker? Let's just throw that out there. If you're not going to give us a Wind Waker, then let me play it on Dolphin. You know, especially because remember the 20th anniversary or the 25th anniversary for Zelda was last year or the year before? I definitely thought we were going to see something, right? Like some sort of... That's right, we saw Skyward Sword. But I thought we were going to see Wind Waker. Which makes me think that we may be seeing an addition to Nintendo Online. You know how they got the N64, the SNES, the NES, and Game Boy Advance? We may see GameCube soon, right? That kind of makes sense. If they're not going to be releasing Wind Waker anytime soon, which is arguably one of the better Zelda games, and definitely creatively one of the most unique kind of Zelda games we've ever seen. I'd love to see that, and I wonder if they have some sort of plans. You know, hope they have some sort of plans. In other news, we've already covered this, but why not? GameSpot says Daedalic's long-delayed Lord of the Rings Golem is just as unlikable and tragic as its namesake protagonist. 2 out of 10. Very rare for a reviewer from one of the big journos to give something such a low score. Sometimes it's all about them just making sure that everyone else has reviewed it low, and they're like, okay, cool, we can give it a low score, you know? I remember when I was reviewing games like with Laymen back in the day, we didn't give it a score, but you had your opinion, right? You understood to yourself if you thought this was a good or a bad game, but there was definitely an aspect of like, I wonder what else everyone else is thinking, you know? Because if we came out and were like, this game is fucking terrible, and everyone's like 10 out of 10, that would make me think, God, have I missed something here? Have I missed something here? So there's definitely, I think, something when it comes to reviewing games that people sometimes feel like they want to know what their peers are thinking. You know, they want to know what else people are thinking. Not to say that GameSpot did that. I think GameSpot came out with their 2 out of 10 immediately when this game came out, when the reviews dropped. But I think that, look, this is the thing, right? When you're on YouTube, when you're doing reviews and all that kind of stuff, when you see other people reviewing something and they also kind of confirm your own ideas, it definitely does give you a confidence about what you've said about the game. Having said that, if you come out with a certain idea of a game, like if you thought Sekiro was terrible, for instance, and everyone else is like, this is the fucking best FromSoft game ever, you're like, oh shit, okay, let's just pedal that back a bit. Let's join the sheep. Let's join the crowd. Interesting. Bivaga says, I was looking forward to the Dolphin, but in all honesty, it was always on the cards it would get removed. Me too. Like, I was excited to see, like, have it on the computer and whatever, but it was always on the cards. Like, I was very surprised to even see it announced, let alone it actually be released, you know? Ivan says, KOTOR being reworked in a battle royale service online game with zombies. That's what I've heard too, guys. Yeah, you heard it here first. There's, you know, with a remake, creative freedom. With a remake, there's creative freedom, and with that creative freedom, they want to follow the trend. Okay, so it's just going to be Fortnite battle royale with zombies. It's going to be great. Looking forward to it. Cooper, the Layman Daily Show sounds like Ralph and Deathloop. Everyone said 10 out of 10 and he did not recommend it. Actually, didn't really speak to Ralph regarding that much in terms of Deathloop, but there's nothing wrong with a reviewer feeling a certain way about a game and coming out with their own opinions, you know. But definitely, I think, and I'm not speaking about Skill Up or Ralph here. I think definitely when the community comes out with a certain idea of a game and you were very against that idea, it's natural and healthy, I think, as a reviewer to call into question your own beliefs, you know? Like if I worked at a workplace and everyone got along and I didn't get along, I wouldn't be like, you're all wrong. You all suck. I would be like, hey, is there something wrong with me? Am I the problem? Of course not. Of course not. It's the children that are wrong. Now the news, Xbox Games Showcase and Starfield Direct will be in theaters with free snacks. Guys, please, for the love of God, come watch our show. We'll give you free snacks. We'll give you a big screen. Please, just watch the show. It was a bit desperado, doesn't it? So I saw some comments saying that it felt a bit desperate. I don't think it sounds desperate. I mean, a little bit. But I think it's kind of cool. Like, I think it's kind of cool that you can go and see the showcase in a big theater with popcorn, all that kind of stuff. You're going to be in the theater with other gaming enthusiasts, all enjoying it together. I think that's kind of cool, you know? But it's definitely a new thing, right? I don't think we've seen other showcases that you're able to watch in the cinemas. And you know what? If this becomes a trend, and I can go and see a major showcase in a theater with other gamers, I think I would do it at least once, like to check it out. But yeah, Xbox is like, how can we get more people to watch our show? Include first-party exclusive? No. Screw that shit. What else can we do? Cinemas, popcorn, choc tops. That's what we need, folks. That's what we need. In other news, PlayStation Projekt Q handheld reportedly has a 3 or 4 hour battery life. Now, as I said when I saw this originally at the PlayStation Showcase last week, I was like, Wi-Fi enabled streaming device that you need to be, what, close to your PlayStation, or you need to be on a Wi-Fi connection to play the PlayStation games. That in itself is a hard sell. For it to also only have 3 or 4 hours battery life. My phone has like 20 hours battery life. This doesn't suck any power. It's just beaming a signal. Do you know what I mean? I don't understand it. 3 or 4 hour battery life. This thing feels, and I'm just gonna, this might sound a little bit over dramatic. I honestly don't think this is gonna be successful. But the more information we're getting from this, I just don't see this to be a product that people want, you know? You've already got your phone, you can put one of those backbone things on, you can play games wherever you want to be. And you don't need to invest more money to participate in the cloud infrastructure. 3 or 4 hour battery life. Like, I'll get more out of my phone. Why would I buy this thing? Doesn't make sense. Crazy. Crazy. But we'll see. We'll see as more disappointing tidbits come out of this thing. I'm just gobsmacked that they would do R&D into this thing, and someone, or higher execs would say, "Yep, this is what we need." A streaming device that's going to cost probably a couple $100, probably. I mean, if a PlayStation control costs like $80 in Australia, $89 or whatever it is, surely with a screen attached with cloud functionality. Well, Wi-Fi streaming functionality to your PlayStation. Surely it's not going to come in anywhere under $200 Aussie, $250 Aussie. And at that price point, people are like, I could just buy a Switch Lite. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. Not understanding it. I'm just checking the stream, making sure it's all good in terms of quality. I was having some internet issues the other day. I'm like, oh shit, I don't want to go live and people are just like seeing me between, like in the news. Welcome to the Laymen Daily Show. So it's all good. Good. In other news, which is very important, this guy made the sounds from Tears of the Kingdom. It's really, oh wait, okay, let's watch the start. It's actually really good, especially when you use that brick to open the door. That is really good. Very, very good. You know what? I thought we would do a little segment here of just showing other things people are making in this wonderful world. Tears of the Kingdom. That's certainly a way to bypass a lot of stuff that you may need to do in this game. And this one, this is interesting. Okay, this is interesting. Now we understand how they multiply. What the fuck are they doing? Now we understand. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom, it's not just about lore, it's about how the actual how the world works and how it's all put together. It's very important. I mean, this stuff is legit incredible. We saw yesterday, of course, the last show, of course, someone made that S thing that we used to do in school. Very cool. I remember this part actually when I first started in the first opening area. If only I had the knowledge that this guy had. I was trying to use the hook to put it underneath and then attach the cart and then bring the cart up. Is he going to make it? No, he's not. Or is he? Oh, yeah. Man, that opening area when I first started Tears of the Kingdom, I'm like, fuck, man, this is 5 hours of just sitting on this island. Like, holy shit. Now, this is pod racing. So I made a pod racer. I think it's sick, and it's aptly, the location is aptly put in the sand area. Loving that. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Make a pod racer, of course. What else we got here? This one is when things don't go to plan. You make this amazing thing. You're like, holy shit, this is fantastic. Can't wait to jump in and start sailing the 7 seas. And then, boom, you're out. See you later. The amount of times I've built something in this game and it just didn't work, or like, it can be very frustrating. But then you make something like this. And I'm like, how the fuck does this thing even work? How's he staying up? Very, very important to include all these, of course. Now, let's see some multiple enemies dying all at once. They're not even dying. Oh, now they are. Oh my god, they're getting drowned. I didn't watch that whole thing. Okay. And to finish off with one more, of course, let's see. Multiple die at the same time. I don't know how he got them in the cube. That's what I want to know. How did he get the enemies in there? They're like, all right, we'll talk. We'll tell you where Zelda is, please. For the love of God. All right, we've seen enough of those. In other news, Colin Moriarty says he's heard that the second PlayStation Showcase is happening this year. Now, this is off the back. I might actually include this first. Multiple industry insiders claim that Sony was holding back with their PlayStation Showcase following a mixed response after the event. So you do the event and then people are having a mixed response and then suddenly everyone's like, by the way, they were holding back. Press X for doubt. Now, I think it was a bit of a lackluster showcase, and it's interesting that after the lackluster showcase from some people talking about it on Twitter, there's this new headline. It's like, guys, we were holding back. You better believe we got a lot of stuff. We were holding back because we just wanted to show it later. This is what we do as Sony, you know? Like, we don't want to show you all the best stuff we have after 2 years and 600 days of having our previous showcase. We want to hold back because it makes sense. Absolutely. If that's true or not, I don't know, but I definitely did see that multiple times on Twitter, actually. So a lot of people were talking about that. But Sony was definitely not wanting to reveal all their cards, and apparently a lot of the games that we did see are pretty much good to go. And if they're pretty much good to go, then we should have seen a lot more freaking gameplay. I mean, how many cinematic trailers did we see with very little gameplay? You know what I'm saying? The only true in-depth gameplay that I can remember was Spider-Man. And the rest of it was just like showing that this is a new title or showing this certain IP with like bits and pieces of gameplay throughout, but nothing that fully reveals what gamers should be excited for. Someone put this. Twitter. But look, I mean, it just does, I can't fathom that. I can't fathom that. And that they would hold back on everything that they thought was exciting after a 2-year hiatus. But maybe this does make sense if Colin Moriarty was correct in terms of there's going to be a second PlayStation Showcase happening later this year. Maybe we can see a lot more then. We're going to see maybe some Snake Eater gameplay. We're going to see, I don't know, what else do we want to see? I want to see the Wolverine. I want to see some Death Stranding stuff. You know, all that kind of stuff. Final Fantasy Rebirth. I want to see some gameplay on that, some announcements on that. I mean, the more you think about it, there's so much that was missing from that show, man. Not only was there just like exciting things to see in terms of gameplay, but like some of the major titles that we've been all wanting to see for the last 2 years, it was just absolutely absent. We saw 10 minutes of Spider-Man at the end. If I was to sum that all up, like the entire showcase from 60 minutes, you could have enjoyed 10 minutes and 30 seconds of that in terms of like something you could be really, really hyped for. You know? Yeah, there's going to be some stuff that you really, like other people loved, but the average person that was watching that was looking for those big announcements. And 10 minutes and 30 seconds. 10 minutes was the Spider-Man and 30 seconds was the Snake Eater. And everything else was laying the groundwork for other IP. And I'm not knocking that, right? We need to allow the space for new IP to show itself, reveal itself, show a cinematic trailer. But we need more. We need more from those showcases than just cinematic trailer from cinematic trailer. Show us a lot more gameplay. You know, that's what I definitely want to see. In other news, very important news for all the people that watch my show. You probably play Fortnite, okay? If there's any big Fortnite news, I've got to throw it in because it is a new show, folks. Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 3 leak shows Optimus Prime and new features. So, hey, if you're excited for the new chapter, expect Optimus Prime to be in there. Who knows, right? I'm not going to play this. I don't care. It's not my thing. But if it is your thing, now you know. Optimus Prime is maybe going to be in the game. The Cube. I already did this, didn't I? But interesting. All right. Let's just say it again. Interesting. Sometimes you put the story certain places and then they pop up again. I'll show you how the sausage is made. So what I'll do is all day, I'll try and find bits and pieces and put it into like a little folder. And then sometimes later in the day, I'll see the same story. I'm like, did I put that in the folder? And I'll just send it in there again. And then I'll just like forget it's there again. So guys, you know what? PlayStation Showcase holding back. We didn't cover it yet, so let's just cover it again. In other news, oh wait, no. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This is very important. I thought I'd do the AI game with you guys today. Whoever doesn't know the AI game, I show you a picture. Question is it real or is it AI? You got to let me know. I'm going to show it to you for a little bit, and then I'm going to do another news story or two and come back to it. Is this AI? I thought I'd get a simple one today. Not with like heaps of trees and this and that or hands. Is this AI? Or is this just normal? Keep in mind, I have shown an equal amount of AI and an equal amount of normal now. So you got to let me know what you think. Is it AI? Is it normal? What do you reckon? What do you reckon? I personally think it's AI. You know what I mean? I think it's AI. So I don't think it's real. Yeah, I think it's AI, folks. Definitely. Joshua says easy. Easy. AI, because concrete kinfa. Concrete kinfa. I don't know what that means. AI. Everyone's saying AI. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Not flat concrete. Not diet go? I don't know what diet go means, but not AI. Is that what you're trying to say? All right, we'll see. It could be AI, it could be real. Who knows? I'll come back to it, guys. In other news, PlayStation Store has revealed that Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 to include the original Metal Gear 1 and 2 alongside the Solid trilogy. So this is interesting because the PlayStation Showcase, it actually didn't show that the original Metal Gear 1 and 2 were going to be part of it, but when the PlayStation Store put Metal Gear up, some details emerged that we could also expect Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2. And this is the asymmetrical one that was like very 2D. It was the original Metal Gear Solid before we saw Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation 1. That's kind of cool. I mean, I love to see that. I love to see that they reveal something in a PlayStation Showcase and then they kind of show that there's going to be even more in the offering. That's a really good thing to see. Usually what we see in the industry is they say, look at all these things, Redfall 60 FPS, and then they dial some of those things back. Not buggy at all, then they dial some of those things back. Golem, going to be a fantastic game, then they dial some of those things back. You know, we're going to release Golem, we don't need an apology, we think it's going to be fantastic. By the way, here's our apology. It was terrible, soz. We should do better by our customers and consumers. We could have never foreseen that game was going to be absolutely horrendous. We just had QA testers and us playing it for many years, and we thought it was a banger. How silly are we? Whenever I see these ridiculous sorry pieces, it's just like, what gets me is the we didn't realize or something like that, right? That energy that they bring along in those apologies. Like we are sorry that we disappointed you. We will try our best. It's like, well, hang on. A week ago, you were saying this is going to be a fantastic game, showing us previews about how awesome this game's going to be. But then it's released, and then all of a sudden, we're really sorry that we let everyone down. It's like you knew you were going to let everyone down. You're liars. That's what you are. Very excited to see what that looks like. And look, I've never played the original Metal Gear 1 and 2, and I'm guessing most of you, if not all of you, have probably not played it either, right? We know Metal Gear from the PlayStation 1, and then Sons of Liberty, and then Snake Eater, and then of course it continues on. Now, I knew that the Metal Gear originated from the humble beginnings of the isometrical kind of 2D land, but I'd never played it. So this is going to be a way that I absolutely will turn this on, even if it's for like 10 or 20 minutes. I'll check it out. I'll play it. I'll see what it's like. Now, where were we? Ah, yes. Ah, yes. AI today or not? What do you reckon? Guys, I would never lie to you. Never. Okay? I'm like a game developer. I'll always be honest with you. When I said it looks like AI today, it was AI. It was AI, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that was a good one to throw in because it's very basic, right? There's no hands to like show you clues, or there's not like weird trees in the background that aren't formed correctly. I thought the shadow also was actually quite spot on. But that is AI today, folks. Very, very good. AI's getting crazy, man. Like, the fact that we can do a game like this where someone can just put some prompts in and then the AI will create something that looks so incredibly real. I love this game. We're going to continue with this game for many weeks, if not months. We'll see. Cocaine said real. No. Yeah, that's AI today, folks. AI today, folks. In other news, Ronaldo needed a little bit of help on the field, you see. He obviously hurt himself or whatever, or he just needed a little bit of a rub. On the leg, of course. After this amazing masseuse, he went on to score seven goals. Pretty incredible. Very important I put that in because it's important. In other news, speaking of that whole, oh, we're sorry business, Linus Tech Tips did something very funny, actually. They actually made a parody of these ridiculous sorry pieces that we've been seeing. Super hyped fantasy game 2 that was rushed to completion. Dear valued players, we at Game Studio would like to offer our sincere apologies for the deeply underwhelming experience you have had with our latest release, Fantasy Game 2. We understand that the game was played with debilitating frame issues on PC, rendering it practically unplayable. It's truly heartwarming to witness your unwavering support as we embark on this thrilling journey of consistently disappointing our dedicated fan base. Now it goes on, but this is the state of gaming at the moment for a lot of AAA. Not a lot, but like there is a decent chunk of these ridiculous things that we are seeing. I mean, we're tired of it, right? I mean, it's a meme at this point. Anyone that actually does this and they're not taking the piss, you know, doing this whole lengthy paragraph thing and it's all very somber in color. It's like, oh, we're sorry that we disappointed you. And it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Silent Hill jumped on the meme and they came out and they were like, dear Silent Hill 2 fans, Silent Hill 2 is an awesome game. You know it. We know it. It's just the best. That's it. That's all we wanted to say. Thank you for your understanding. I love that. And just to finish off on this little segment, look at this, right? From Jedi Fallen Order, from Cyberpunk 2077 to Bethesda bloody games, Golem, Halo Infinite, Battlefield, Forspoken, of course. I mean, it just, the list goes on of the AAA experience that are hyped. The marketing behind these games, man. They make it look like, again, the second coming of Jesus. This is going to be the best thing ever. You guys have seen nothing yet before you play this game. And then you play it, you're like, whoa, you're right. I've never seen anything like this. This is horrendous. Now, I do understand that as games get more complicated and coding is bigger and graphics are more demanding and our years to make games are increasing, it's harder to get the product right? I understand that. But here's the thing, right? When these games release within 6 months or 3-month windows, usually the bugs and the issues are predominantly taken care of. Have you ever noticed that? Like most games that are released within a 6-month window or a 3-month window, Cyberpunk 2077 may be a little bit longer, but most games that do have like horrendous buggy experiences, once it's released and then they start patching it, within 3 months or 6 months, it's usually okay. So I suggest just push all these games back 3 or 6 months. We're not gonna care that much. There's a trend now in gaming that if a studio comes out and says we're delaying a game because we don't think it's ready, there's a very small percentage of people that are like, oh my god, man, can't believe it. Fuck these devs. Most people are like, okay, cool. If you need more time to get it right, fine. Because once the game's released, it's released. Exactly what most people want. Most people want a good game, you know, like Gollum and Redfall. So look, you know, this is exactly what the trend... This trend needs to stop. This whole like wall of texts just lying to consumers about, hey, we didn't know. Oh my God, we're so sorry. We let you down. We had no idea it was going to be like this. It's just fucking nonsense. You know, like QA testing, developers, they play this game all the time. Like, that's what they do, right? They're coding, they're playing it, they're seeing how it is. They're playing other games too, just to kind of stay at the same pace of the competition to see what else other people are doing. They know if something is not great. And like, you don't need to be a genius. You don't even need to be a gamer to know if a bug occurs. If I see someone in a T-pose and I didn't play games before, I'm like, is that zombie supposed to be doing that? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not that hard. So I just want, I just want, okay? I just want developers to push bloody games back more. It's okay. No one cares. Yes, we're a little bit disappointed when we see the news if a hyped game's not coming out. Like Silksong, that's been pushed back because the vision has become bigger. We don't know when that's coming out. We know it's been pushed back because they need more time working on it. I don't think I saw a single person in the comments being like, oh my God, these fucking devs. Screw them. It was more like, oh, okay, that's a bit disappointing. Fair enough. They're going to work on it and it'll be ready when it's ready. That kind of thing, you know? Anyway, in other news, this is another trend that I've been seeing. I think this is a great trend. So originally there was a snapshot showing Overwatch 2 being outperformed by Hearthstone, and now people are just showing more snapshots of Overwatch 2 being outperformed by everybody. And of course, when this stuff happens, you can expect people to start memeing. Like Barbie's Magic Pegasus. It's outperforming, apparently. This isn't photoshopped. What are you talking about? It's outperforming Overwatch 2, man. Real shame. Even Shrek? Oh my God, not Shrek. Shrek is outperforming Overwatch. Sad times. Sad times for Overwatch 2. But Shrek is obviously more popular, you know? He's got a swamp. He's got a talking donkey. Well, Overwatch has a talking monkey. You know, it's kind of cool. But you can't compete with Shrek. You can't. You know? Got some eye candy. Princess Fiona. Especially at night. Am I right? And it's got a short king. Literally. Farquaad. That's such a great name, isn't it? Love that. Lord Farquaad. Good times. Now, before we finish with the... okay, anyone that's just joined, we're going to be doing a game quiz soon, okay? So, the previous quizzes that we were doing, people were saying that it was too easy because the music was giving it away. So, I thought today we would do a game quiz with music. I haven't listened to these, so if these are really easy, then I won't do these music ones again, or I'll try and find harder ones. But today, it's 10 seconds to answer the question, and you got to try and guess the music. Before we finish then, viewers are outraged at Evan Peters wins award for Jeffrey Dahmer role. Now, I want to include this because I watched this last year and I thought it was fucking amazing. Right? I thought it was awesome. Now, he did win for playing a serial killer, Jeffrey Dahmer, but let me tell you, okay, these stories are important. You can't package up these stories in a way that's not entertaining. And if someone does a brilliant job of conveying a serial killer and he wins an award for it, I don't think viewers and people should start attacking him for it. I think it's one of the better things that I watched on Netflix last year. And I do think that these horrendous stories, in real life I mean, need to be told. They need to be revisited. An audience needs to be aware of these atrocities. It needs to be something that people are exposed to, you know? So I think this is a dangerous precedent, folks. Dangerous precedent. No, I honestly think, you know, there should be, you know, breathing space for someone to be playing these atrocious stories, and they shouldn't feel like they shouldn't win awards for conveying it correctly to the audience, you know? If you haven't watched it, it was a fantastic, I think it was 10-part or 9-part series. Evan Peters did a fantastic job in it. Absolutely deserves the award for it. And I hope that this kind of outrage or whatever it is, Could only be like 10 people on Twitter, but I saw a couple of headlines on this. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to throw this in because this is important. This is important, folks. But I hope that we continue to tell terrible stories so people know about it, you know? It's important that we know. As I said previously last week when we're talking about history, it's important to get history right. I pretty much watch a documentary. Like, I need to fall asleep to something every night just to put away all my thoughts. No, that's just how I am. I've always liked to have something in the background. And World War II documentaries, World War I documentaries, Civil War documentaries, you know, famous people documentaries, all that kind of stuff. So important. Get it right. And also, make it entertaining so people want to watch it so they understand what's going on. What's going on in the world and what's going wrong in the world. Very important. In other news, speaking of other things on... Is this Netflix? I can't remember now. No, this is HBO. Of course not. Last of Us Season 2 is reportedly set to be released in 2025. I'm excited to see what this is. I'm not excited for Season 2 episode like 1 or 2. God, I don't know how they're going to handle that. Now, whoever hasn't played the games in this stream, I won't spoil it for you. What I will say is, you're in for a shock. Okay? Or, it's going to be very interesting. All right? Very interesting. I wonder if they're going to get a hole-in-one with this. I'm just wondering if it's going to be good. That's all I'm trying to say, okay? Anyway, that's all I got in terms of jokes. But look, I'm excited to see what this is. I think Last of Us, HBO's Last of Us was absolutely fantastic. As we know, that was the first show I actually had coming back this year. I really wanted to review it, and I thought it was just a smash out of the park. And I'm excited to see what they do with this for this next one. Now, I do think that it's going to be hard to figure out how they... firstly, they did say that Season 2 and Season 3 are going to be part of Last of Us Part 2 because it was a much bigger game, so we can expect the second game to be spread across 2 different seasons. But I wonder how they're going to handle some of this source material and when are we going to see certain moments happen, right? Don't want to spoil anything. Like, I wonder when we're going to see the UFOs land and stuff like that, right? Oh, sorry, spoiler. For all the people that haven't played it. Sorry, spoiler, yeah. Oops. Anyway, I'll super chat. Appreciate that. 5 USD. Thank you very much, Bluehorn. If someone murdered your brother and you kept having to relieve the trauma and psycho fandom around the murders without your involvement, is that okay? It's a very interesting question, and I think that's important to answer. If I'll give you another analogy there, or another example. If my brother died in a car crash or something, and I went to a comedy store and someone made a joke about a joke about someone dying in a car crash or something, but it was packaged correctly and everyone was laughing. I don't think my personal experience is something that other people can't, the joke in itself is something that people can experience in their own way. That's my personal experience. That doesn't mean that I need to like shut down the comedy show. It's the same with any traumatic experience, right? If there is a certain traumatic experience that we've had in life, but the greater project at hand for like Jeffrey Dahmer is to inform people of these atrocities. So people are aware of these things. People are aware of some of those dangers out there. And although it is packaged up to be entertaining, I think that any personal trauma that someone's had, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be able to explore what has happened in history and package it up in a way that people can watch it in terms of a mass audience. That's my personal opinion, But let's get away from the darkness and let's talk about name the 2000s games. All right, you got 10 seconds. You got 10 seconds to name the game. All right, if you haven't played this before, 10 seconds. I'm going to play 10, or maybe it's 15 or 10 different questions. I'm going to play the music for 5 seconds or 10 seconds. You got to name what it is. And don't just say the IP. Try and say the particular game it's from. It's not easy. Okay? Here we... The second narrator music says, well, it depends on which brother. That's right. If it was Chill Up, I'm like, this comedy show's great. Where's good to see you again, my friend. Sam would be selling shirts to try and make a buck. What? I would never try and sell shirts to make a buck. What are you talking about? Oh, this isn't in the store. I forgot this is in the store. I do have Thick Boy merch, though. All right, who's ready for the game? To finish up, guys, appreciate everyone being here today. Let's finish with the game. feel like I'm dancing like the guy with the pumpkin head. You know, the guy with like, he was dressed in all black with a pumpkin head. All right, here we go. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, do we know what it is? I know what it is. I haven't watched this yet either. It's the first time. Super Mario Sunshine. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay, I got it. I got it. Gran Turismo 3. Oh, fuck off. Oh my god. Ah. Okay, one wrong. Strike. Wii Sports. Oh yeah. Oh, that was such a phenomenon, Wii Sports, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, okay. Double dash. Oh yeah. Dragon Roost Islands, Wind Waker. Oh yeah. I even knew the name of the song. That's how cool and OG I am. Fuck, I got no idea. Oh, I got no idea. No idea. Oh, come on, man. Come on. Sons of Liberty. Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid. Twin Snakes, that's Sons of Liberty, isn't it? What? Come on. Diablo 2. Nice. Nice. Easy. Easy clap, folks. Easy clap. Oh. I know what game, but which one? I'm gonna say Brawl. Brawl. Melee! Oh my god, I said Brawl! No! Yep. Metroid Prime. How did you do, folks? I feel like I did pretty bad then, actually. I think I got 5 out of 10. Look, I said Grand Theft Auto 3 instead of Vice City. That's like that. That sucks. Sons of Liberty is Metal Gear 2, right? That was the music from it. I'm sure of it. Sure of it. Someone said the Elden Ring. No, not. And I said Brawl. I knew it was Super Smash, but I said Brawl instead of Melee. Oh, it's so annoying. Anyway, folks, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Big show, really big show. I don't know if the PlayStation and CD Projekt Red thing is going to go forward, but if it does, you'll hear it first. Appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful day, evening, wherever you are, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for the super chats. Laymen out.